Chaos Zero Nightmare is less than 2 weeks away. But after a rocky beta and controversy over AI art and its gacha system, some players are already calling it a flop. I want to explain why I think that's wrong and why this game might actually succeed. Let's start with the controversies that forced the devs to issue a formal apology. AI illustrations, inconsistent character designs, and lack of quality control. Some complaints are warranted, like extra fingers, unnatural hands, or broken anatomy. Others are more nitpicky, like missing minor clothing details on a belt, mixing up left and right. Some designs and art in the game are inconsistent, like a pendant with 4 sides instead of 5. Others are minor, like lighting differences or missing textures. The devs explained that this was due to character designs changing over time and multiple artists working on different parts of the same characters. As for AI usage, they stated it was only used as a reference for filler content, such as character backgrounds, and never for character production. The extra fingers issue was caused by overlapping frames in live 2D animation. These errors suggests a lack of quality control and oversight from Smilegate and Super Creator. When quality control is this bad, it's easy to assume the devs are incompetent. And if the art is sloppy, what about the actual systems? It is easy to extrapolate to the whole studio. But let's look at Smilegate's other game, Epic 7, that has been running since 2018. At launch, it had similar problems, tons of inconsistencies, awkward art, and missing details that are still present in older content today. And those are the less egregious issues. We're not even getting into the server instability, lag, crashes, UI bugs, localization problems, or the infamous running RAS. But look at Epic 7 now.
Your freedom is only but an illusion. It's already too late.
This is my mission. And your fate.
Unworthy soul, let your death burden this land.
Today, Epic 7 has immaculate quality control. The art, sprites, animations, and UI are consistent across the board. You would be hard-pressed to find a flaw in the art. So why the difference? At launch, devs are crunched to release hundreds or even thousands of pieces of art, animations, and systems all at once. It is more resource-intensive to quality check everything due to the sheer volume. Mistakes slip through. But once content slowed to a regular pace, Smilegate proved they could deliver consistent, polished, top-of-the-class work. It would be reasonable to assume the same for Chaos Zero Nightmare. Now let's talk about the other big topic, the Gacha System. Chaos Zero Nightmare will feature a 50-50 gacha system, which the community constantly complained about. While the system is improved by expanding the standard pool with each new rate-up release, players are still concerned about how stingy it might feel. Let's consider why the Hoyo gacha system feels so greedy. Considering signature weapons, items are limited content, Hoyoverse players in a patch cycle can get as low as 25% of the released content. 25% is a really low number. This is assuming pity and worst-case scenario. This is based on average 120 pulls per patch for 2 character banners and 2 weapon banners, with pity of 140 and 120 for characters and weapons. However, this game is published by Smilegate and developed by Super Creative, the same publisher and devs of Epic 7. It would be reasonable to expect its generosity and resource friendliness to be closer to Epic 7 than to Hoyo titles. Let's take a closer look at the Epic 7 gacha system. There are 2 types of banners, the normal 5 stars and the ML 5 stars. The game provides more than enough resources to pity every new normal 5 star, which are released about once every month or 2. These banners also feature their signature artifacts, similar to weapons, and obtaining them is relatively easy since the game showers players with pity currency. Now the less generous banner are the ML 5 stars or Mystic Summons. Epic 7 gives enough resources to pity a new ML 5 star every 9 to 12 weeks, while a new ML 5 star is released every 6 weeks. In practice, unlucky players can pity roughly every other banner. So, worst case, players still get about half of the upcoming ML 5 stars. When you add both normal and ML banners together, Epic 7 players end up with roughly 75% of the released content at minimum. Compare that to Hoyo games, where players only get around 25%. The disparity would be even greater if we were to consider the catch-up mechanics. I have really simplified it, but it is way more complicated. There's more types of banners. There's ML 4 stars, but they are usually far less valuable than a 5-star. Normal 5 stars release at a faster rate than ML 5 stars. On top of that, ML 5 stars don't have weapons or artifact, and people have varying resource generation, so take these estimations with a grain of salt. So yes, the Chaos Zero Nightmare system looks like Hoyoverses on the surface. But let's not forget, they are not Hoyoverse or Kuro games. They are Smilegate and super creative. Based on past track records, I believe they will likely lean closer to Epic 7's generosity than Hoyoverse's stinginess. Even with a 50-50 system, I believe they will be close to the 75% than the 25%. For these reasons, I believe Chaos Zero Nightmare will succeed, deliver quality content, and be reasonably generous with the gacha. So what do you think? Do you think Chaos Zero Nightmare will succeed or flop? Let me know in the comments.